Hello everyone, welcome back to ENR 153 car project tutorial videos. Again, so we're starting to create the drawings for the car parts that we've created in the previous videos. And as you guys might notice that creating the drawing is easier than creating the actual part, right? Because the part is already created. We're basically just placing it on a technical drawing and dimensioning what is needed for a fabricator or for a machinist to create that part. So I'm gonna go to File, New, and I'm gonna utilize my MCC inch drawing. I'm gonna click OK. So I have my template open, right? And so right now my file name is drawing 3. Author, description are not populated because those are, we need to insert a part. So let's go to Browse. So we're creating the steering arm, and let's insert that. I believe it's going to be the top view. Yes, so it should be the top view. One thing, so again, we're trying to replicate what drawing, replicate the drawing that we received from the drawing packet. So we're basically trying to replicate that using SolidWorks. So let's go. It's gonna go and change my properties. It's gonna change my scale. So it's 3:1. Again, so I'm having an issue just because I'm doing this on a laptop and it's not grabbing the format. But even though the actual format is there, again, so once I do that. Once I insert my part, my author, description, and file name is automatically updated. So actually I don't need this call out, so I'm going to delete it for now. So let's go ahead and actually dimension this. So it's not going to be too bad, right? So we're utilizing the ordinate dimensions, just like we've done on the chassis plate. So I have my drawing somewhat centered. I'm gonna go to ordinate, right? Smart dimensions, drop down menu, ordinate dimension. Again, let's see, this edge is gonna be my 0, 0. So right that point, so that point over here is gonna be my 0, 0. And let's start dimensioning these positions for the holes. So this one is going to be, again, so I'm just adding dimensions to that drawing. So this location, this is my 0, 0, it's 0.15 inches away. I also want to add this point. Again, I'm just going to replicate the drawing I've created. This dimension and this dimension. Let's see, what else do we have? I have this point 285. Also have my arc center. So if I select the arc, selects the center. I also want this point. So let's see, and that center. Again, I'm just following that drawing that we created in that drawing packet. I'm just trying to replicate that. So let's see. Oh, so I have all my my dimensions. So I have my horizontal, vertical. So let's do that. I'm gonna exit out of this. I'm gonna go ahead and add my vertical, and I can do it here. So I have that dimension, this dimension, that dimension, this point. Also I have my arc, location in the Y. Let's see, and I have this point. So SolidWorks tries to lay it out so there's a good amount of space, or there's some spaces and dimensions are not on top of each other. See, I'm missing a dimension here. And I'm basically just going through that drawing and making sure I have already created that drawing, right? So replicating those dimensions. Let's see, what else am I missing? I think we got most of it. So let's gonna exit out. Let's see. So let's add those whole callouts. So if I go annotation, whole callout, right? So I want to make sure my whole callouts. I have whole here. Let's see, so I want to call out the radius, right? So if I go again, I go to smart dimensions, select that radius. It's going to be, let's say I want it to be, try to dimension it this way. Let's do that. If we go to the leaders. So I want to extend back leader to text. Let's see if we can reposition it. Such that, okay. Or dimension it that way. Again, depending on how, we just want to make sure it's as neat as possible for someone to read and make sense of this drawing. One thing to point out, so I want to add that these are arc center dimensions, so I'm just going to add AC after my dimension. Move these down a bit, maybe move this whole drawing view, zoom to fit. This dimension is in arc center. Also, that dimension. Arc center. I'm just trying to double checking this dimension. So I don't believe this dimension should be an arc center. So I'm gonna take that out, right? Because so this is an arc center dimension right here. So is this one, right? We're calling the X and Y. I don't believe the 1 inch dimension is an arc center, right? We're dimensioning this hole, the center of this hole. So that shouldn't be an arc center. Again, depending on how you want to move this way, right? We want to add that radius value 375. Let's add that radius. Again, just like we've done with the chassis plate, there's 2 of them, so 2x, right? Basically saying that that radius is applied in 2 different locations. Positions. Let's go ahead and add that dimension here, right? Again, depending on the drawing and the drawing size and your scale. You want to dimension it so you have a good amount of space out there, right? So if a machinist was able to print this out, he should be able to write some notes on it, and for the engineer to write some notes to make it easier from a machining standpoint. So let's see, we have one thing I want to do is I want to add that arc. I want to add, from a machining standpoint, I want to add that point. So if I would have, let's do it this way. I'm gonna utilize my center line, and I'm gonna add. So I'm gonna select that center line. I'm gonna add a vertical relation. Create another center line here. I want to make sure these 2 points are collinear. So I want that point and that line to be coincident. That point and that point to merge. Again, I can just select a point, sketch a point, just throw a point in there. And if I was to grab that dimension, 0.707, and it should be 0.75. But I'm just gonna add a note, right? I'm just gonna go to annotation, go to smart dimension. I'm just gonna throw a note there, just to keep my drawing neat. Actually, why, I don't know why it's doing that. Oops. Okay, so if you get close to a point, it tries to create a leader. So I'm just going to throw it here, and let's do parentheses 0.750, 0.707. Move that close to the point. Again, I only added that because from like a machining standpoint, it's easier to know what that point is. So I just kind of went in and added a sketch to show what that point is. Again, you might have to do stuff like that with more complex geometry that you may not be able to just use smart dimension to easily dimension it. You might have to think of other ways to go in and add that dimension or add that point. And again, you can utilize notes, stuff like that, to throw in a note or a dimension that might be beneficial that might benefit the fabricator or the machinist. And so it's, again, start thinking about, okay, what's the best way to communicate my drawing, and making sure that a supplier would be able to machine this with no issues or questions, right? Because again, going back to, if a supplier asks questions, it's going to be more downtime of, hey, how do I go about machining this, or what's this dimension, or is this dimension critical to quality, stuff like that. We can communicate that earlier on would make that process much easier or smoother. So I believe I have all my dimensions. Again, I'm just going back and double checking everything. And I believe we are all set. So make sure you file save. I've already have this file saved. So one thing to do is publish the e-drawings, right? So you want to make sure you have an e-drawing, and that's how you can communicate this drawing with someone who does not have SolidWorks. Again, but also you can also generate a PDF file. But e-drawing is a free software that anyone can use, and they can, if you add section cuts, and they can do stuff if you add an animation, they can actually animate the drawing. Shows all views. They can change the display style. They can zoom in. Makes it easier to actually communicate that drawing. So make sure you publish the e-drawings. And then go to File, Save As, and save a copy of that e-drawing file. And that's it for this video. So thank you for